Good morning. I'm going to do something a little different here. I usually don't tell stories because I'm not very good at it. But let me start by telling a story about this pastor named Fred Craddock. He was a relatively well-known pastor in the Southeast who was very good at storytelling. And he tells the story of when he was a hospital chaplain and he was calling on patients, and while at the hospital one day, he happened upon a family who was looking through the nursery window at their newborn grandchild and child, their first. And these people were all gathered around to see the new baby, and the baby's name was Elizabeth. And he noticed that the father was off to one side and was looking a little concerned. So Fred went up to him and asked him, "So what's the matter?" And the father said, "I know why Elizabeth is crying." And Fred said, "Why? Why is your new baby crying?" And the father said, "Well, Elizabeth is angry." And he says, "Why is Elizabeth angry?" And the father said, "Well, she's angry because she was just with God, where she was safe and secure, and now she's coming into this world, a crazy, topsy-turvy world." And Fred asked him, well, an important question. "Do you think Elizabeth will remember God?" When I was growing up, I went to a Japanese Methodist church in Bakersfield. It was a simple building with a sanctuary, a kitchen for the potlucks, two classrooms in back for Sunday school. And my grandparents, along with many, many other families, built that church financially and with their hands. And I know that I, to this day, remember God and know God because of those people, my grandparents and those other families. So in the same way, here at Centennial, I'd like you to do something. I'd like you to think about the people that came before that have made it possible for you to remember God, for you to know God. Who were they? It could have been long ago when this place was built in 1959. A lot of sacrifice was made. You know some of the people that made those sacrifices. Maybe they were the founders. Maybe they were the people that came along shortly after. And in 1990, when the sanctuary was renovated, Maddie talked about this last week, that was a huge project. People made sacrifices for this community, not just the building. And then when we did the capital campaign, the roof was leaking and we fixed it. And the place was hot and we put in air conditioning and it's nice and cool today. Many of you were the ones that remembered God and made it possible for future people. Think about who else, some are here today, that made it possible for you. We are grateful for our church buildings. We are grateful for the light that shines through our stained glass windows. But most of all, we are grateful for the persons memorialized in gifts such as the cross right up here on this wall was given by the Fransham family in memory of June Fransham. Their lives help connect us and see the connection between the past and the present and the future. Because they give of themselves, we can enjoy the fellowship and nurture of the church. My friends, it is this where you and I remember God. Today, all of us United Methodists are called upon to be like the master builder in the verse, to build a foundation for the next generation. And these are uncertain times in United Methodism, but there's always been uncertain times in our world. Always. And we don't let that stop us. We don't let that stop us from acting today to prepare for the future, to invest in the future, just because there's uncertain times. A part of building Centennial's foundation for the future is an endowment, and this foundation has taken a long, long time. 13 years ago, a church conference here at Centennial passed a resolution to set up an endowment committee. 13 years. 7 years ago, the church council passed another resolution to set up an endowment spending policy. But it was only 1 year ago that there was actually a committee formed, and they are now meeting quarterly. So the foundation is being built. A long time in coming, but it's now being built. And some of the people that are on the endowment committee are here. Would you stand up if you're on the endowment committee? Fran and Archie and Lourdes and Tim and Pastor Renee, you're on it. There's 7 of us. So the foundation is being built. We have a partner in the California, Nevada Methodist Foundation who's managing our endowment account. We have $30,000 about in that endowment account that came as part of Sue Wilcox's bequest to Centennial. So things have started. This is not just an idea and a resolution in a church council. This is active things, and as a committee, we are working on a planned giving program. So in your bulletins today is this brochure. Please take this home, take a look at it. If you have any questions, please see one of the people on the endowment committee, and we can put you in touch with people with expertise from the foundation. Susan Peters from the foundation did the training of us to explain the endowment processes. Raise your hand if you have children. Anyone here have children? Many of us have children. So, as you know, or some of you may know, that like you, Leslie and I have 3 sons. And we will leave much of our wealth to our 3 sons. I was thinking, would I do a disservice if I left some of our wealth to our church? Would I be taking away from our 3 sons? Would they say, Dad, why did you do that? Am I stealing from them? Am I stealing from their future? And this is the balancing act question that I was wrestling with. And I decided that no. They know how important Methodist has been in my family. They know how important this church is to me and important it is. Leslie knows how important it is. She says, Ken, yes, you do spend a lot of time at church. And I'm happy about that. It is not taking away from their future. I can do both. We can do both. We can invest in their future, our kids' future. That's so important to us. We've done it all of our lives, investing in their future. We can invest in the future of this place so that these young people who are going off to Kansas City, excited, will come back to a foundation that is stronger and meets their needs and, frankly, their children's needs, those children that we don't know. We don't know the names of them. They might be named Elizabeth, like in the story. So I ask of you today, take this brochure, read it, and think about what you can do to invest in your kids' future and this church's future. Thank you.